George says, I know Georgia fans are getting nervous. You're starting to ask yourself, can this really be true? 1980 was a long time ago. You really need this one. Just a few more games and you can hold your head up again. I got to go. I have 3 games going at once. Appreciate it, George. I got to say, this year I probably feel the least nervous I've ever felt as far as being a Georgia fan facing an Alabama team of any type. This team has just been dominant on all fronts. We really have it well put together. Stetson Bennett performed much better in this game than we've seen him perform in the past. I was actually very pleased with his performance in this game. Excuse me, and we'll get into that here in a minute. This was a really interesting game. There was no turnovers and of any kind. There was no fumbles, no interceptions, none of that. So very clean game for both teams. And even though Georgia ran up the score 45-0, Georgia Tech had more possession at 33 minutes. Georgia right at 27. Georgia had 0 penalties. Georgia Tech had 4 penalties for 38 yards. But that's not really a lot. That was actually good, clean football. Even though this is dubbed the clean, old-fashioned hate game, and there was some times when tempers were kind of flaring a little bit, we still saw that the teams for the most part kept it pretty composed. Back to the rushing aspect of it. Looking at yards per rush, Georgia held Georgia Tech to 2.8 yards per rush. And that is extremely difficult to get an offense rolling when you can't run the ball. But probably to me, what was even more important was the completion percentage. Georgia went 14 for 20, which is pretty solid. Georgia Tech went 8 for 16, which is not great. It's, exactly 50%, but their average per pass was 4.3. Georgia was averaging 12.8. That Georgia Tech ended up rushing the ball more than Georgia, and still couldn't generate any offense. They stuck with the they stuck with the game plan, which was to try and run the ball. It just didn't work out for them. Georgia's too fast, and there was many times they would get a player to the edge, and then Georgia would just run them down. I'm not sure how many sacks we had in this game. Still trying to pull that stat out right now, but I think it was 3 or 4. I mean, it was quite a few. Georgia had their quarterback running for his life. He really didn't have much opportunity to do much. We watched both teams kind of figure out what was going to happen early on. It really didn't seem like they were going to be able to do much. Yates, who went 8 for 16, only threw for 68 yards. You're not going to beat a quality opponent doing that. Stetson Bennett, on the other hand, Stetson Bennett, if I can get the screen to act right here. I can't memorize all these player stats. It just doesn't work that way. Where'd it go? There it is. So Stetson Bennett threw for 4 for 20, 14 for 20. Completion percentage is where's it at? Where's it at? This game threw for 70%. When you're throwing for 70% and you're averaging 12.8 yards per toss, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 77-yard long, which went to Brock Bowers. I don't know what else you can ask from the guy. We didn't need to throw the ball for 300 or 400 yards. Georgia played extremely well through several quality passes. I will say that this number would have been higher. His completion percentage would have been higher if Adonai Mitchell would have caught 2 of those passes that went to it. I mean, there was opportunities there for our guys to catch the ball and hit him in the hands and just didn't catch it. So it was pretty concerning. You got to be able to catch those passes. Got to be able to bring them in. Absolutely, a problem that has to be addressed. Kenny Mcintosh had a pretty good day. He went for 2 carries for 66 yards. I mean, when you come in and you can put up 66 yards on 2 plays, you got to love that. You got to love that.